Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. Yes, Manchester United beat Spurs 1-0 yesterday. But let's look at Poch versus Ollie, and let's look at Peter Schmeichel versus David De Gea. And there's big debates going on. So it was very encouraging that Ollie's got his tactics right in the first half of yesterday's game. He tactically outmaneuvered Poch, and that was very interesting. But in the second half, Poch, as all great managers do, knew his tactics weren't working in the first half and had a plan B. But Ollie didn't have a plan B, and that's why Tottenham dominated us, and we didn't know how to respond to that. We had a couple of opportunities through Pogba. The keeper faulted him, and we were under the cosh for the whole of the second half, and it was extremely worrying. So why did this happen? Why didn't Ollie have a plan B? Well, Ollie didn't have a plan B because he's a young, naive manager. I'm not having a go at him. But you always need a plan B as a manager, and this is why we struggled in the second half, and it was very worrying. Do I believe that if Tottenham equalised, they would have beat us? No, I'm still confident if they equalised, we would have went up the other end and scored. Why? Because goals change games. Yes, goals change games for the team scoring the goal, but also great players and good managers know that, goals change games for them. So what happened was we went back to Mourinho mode in the second half. We had the one goal, and it was an automatic mindset to defend rather than attack, because if we kept on going at them, we would have won that game. We weren't doing concise attacking play when they were going for us. It wasn't like the first half. In the first half, they had the ball. We were aggressive, we'd get it back, we'd hit them in the counter, and we were opening them up. But in the second half, we weren't doing that. We allowed them to dominate us. And it's all about the Mourinho mentality still not leaving the players. But definitely in my mind, and when you look at the tactical battle between Ollie and Poch, Poch did have a plan B, because Poch could see, like all great managers in the first half, that actually his tactics weren't working. So during the half-time break, he had to come up with a new plan. And he did. And it worked. But Ollie hadn't planned for this in his preparation for the game before a ball was kicked. He didn't think to himself, well, this is a great manager. Yeah, I found a weakness within his team's play, and I can hurt him. And, the weakness was found, and that's how we scored from it. Pogba gives it to Rashford. There's lots of space. He scores a really good goal. I mean, Rashford really didn't have a right to score from that angle, but he did. It's a great finisher, a lesson to all young players thinking about how do you shoot. You shoot across the keeper, because by doing that, you make the goal bigger. If you shoot on his near post, you're taking a risk, because most keepers do have their near posts well guarded. If you're a good keeper, even if you're a solid keeper. And that was absolutely fantastic. So in the first half, we look at Poch versus Solskjaer. And Solskjaer, had his grade A tactical game. But in the second half, he was outmaneuvered by Poch. And Ollie didn't have an answer to that. And this is why we were in trouble in the second half. But as I say, I still believe we could have won that game. Because there's this mentality where apparently we were lucky because we have a keeper between the sticks that saved a lot of shots. Tottenham's finishing was abysmal. De Gea made a couple of really good world-class saves, but the other ones he did basically were just shots from outside the box or bad finishing. So some of it's on Spurs, but just because they make it 1-1, it don't mean they go on and win the game. Manchester United, with the mentality they've got right now, the old Sir Alex mentality is, when we used to concede, we'd start attacking again. And I believe this is what happened. I don't think we were going to lose yesterday, but it is an absolutely fantastic win. Now we need to look at something else, because a lot of people are saying that David De Gea is better than Peter Schmeichel. Not on your life. David De Gea is a great striker. It's still morning. I'm hungover. Celebrated a lot last night, but I go to Iron Napa every night. Please forgive me. But anyway, David De Gea, right? David De Gea. Going to get the name right in a minute. Basically, is a really, really good, world class. There's no better keeper than David right now in football. But better than Peter Schmeichel? No. Go back and watch the old footage of the famous Newcastle Man United game at St James's Park in 95-96. Schmeichel used to have this thing where he used to go like that, and he totally closed off a striker. Strikers were intimidated by him. And I'm sure modern day strikers are intimidated by De Gea, but it isn't the same thing. They're two very different keepers. But Peter Schmeichel is a goalkeeper and was an unconventional goalkeeper. He could save things he had no right to save, but it was all about coming out. And his distribution was second to none. Peter Schmeichel is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen play the game of football in the past. I mean, he's got to be the best from the past 50, 60 years of the game. So I'm not going to have this kind of debate that David De Gea is better than Peter Schmeichel. Just go and watch the videos. But I'm not putting David down here. I love David De Gea. He's a Man United man. He's stuck with us. He will sign that contract. I'm confident all players at the end of their contracts will re-sign now. I do see this structure continuing with Fergie, Mickey Phelan and Ollie. I think this will carry on next season as well. I do think the club will be sold in the next 6 months. So no point changing things. Just keep things as they are. I don't particularly like what Souness says about United. He's very overcritical of us because he's a hater, obviously. He's a Liverpool man. But I think what he said about Ollie remaining as manager was spot on. You know, we've had top-class managers and it hasn't worked. Keep the structure as it is. It is working. But despite everything I said about Poch tactically outmanoeuvring Ollie in the second half, I think Ollie can, these are great lessons for Ollie. And this was the first big test. Basically, under Ollie for the rest of this season, we've got cup finals. Yesterday, we won a cup final at Wembley. That's what it was. That's what it always was going to be. We are just not there yet. We've got a lot to learn. We need to clear out some players. We need to bring in. I think Mourinho, unfortunately, was right about needing a centre-back. But it's something he could have done from his first season, which he didn't. He bought two very, very good centre-backs. Now, some people believe they're not dominant enough. I don't know. The problem is, and this is Mourinho's fault, he never played those lads together enough to get a relationship together. So we could have had two very good centre-backs with a great centre-back partnership by now, which we haven't got now. And, of course, Bailey's out suspended, but I think he's back in the next game, which is good. I hope Bailey gets a chance, but he's got to be careful. Pogba was absolutely fantastic, of course, but what he did on that guy's thighs was outrageous, and you don't do things like that. And he could have got himself sent off. We were very lucky he wasn't sent off there. But as a Man United fan, I'm extremely happy. It was totally the right decision to bring Ollie in. Anything can be achieved this season. I mean, as I say, we're playing cup finals. That's the mentality. And the more we win, the more confident we get. We've got Brighton next. Brighton is a bogey team since they've come back up. We've got to be careful with this. This isn't a foregone conclusion. We lost to them at their place earlier this season. So it'll be very interesting how we set up against them in that game. But for now, I am buzzing because Manchester United are back. So what do you think? What do you think of the tactical battle between Ollie and Poch? Who do you think won it? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think Ollie got it right throughout the game? Or do you think that Poch actually showed his class by realising his tactics weren't working in the first half and changed them? And do you agree with me that Ollie didn't have a plan B in the second half? If you're a Man United fan, you're one of me, you're part of the family, please subscribe to the channel. We talk about lots of different things here, movies, TV shows. So please get involved, share the channel, subscribe. And I just want to thank everyone because I've reached the milestone of 500 subscribers. This makes me really proud because I never thought I'd get over 20 subscribers. You come here day in, day out, listening to me blabbering on my basic Lenovo tablet using the built-in microphone and the built-in camera with no editing, no graphics. There's fantastic YouTubers out there, and you've chosen to follow me. So I really hope you'll continue to support me because I've got big plans for the channel. Thank you.